This one is called That Day at Primrose Hill, and it's based on a real memory, so yeah, I'll just leave it at that. That day at Primrose Hill. Come, take my hand. Let me take you back to simpler days. Back, way back to school and play, and the August sun of 1999. The sun was especially kind that day, and my hair had just been plaited by my mum, who burned the synthetic ends to stop it from being undone. I was yay high and filled with fun, and everyone was my friend, and Mr. Whippy's ice cream slipped down my throat with that delicious strawberry syrup. It avalanched into my belly with large rolls of satisfying sweetness and made my belly hang even more childlike, protruding under the pink cotton shirt and over the elastic of my polka dot leggings. I ran around the playground with new friends, and I remember swinging across the monkey bars and trying to get across and jumping down to my feet. I remember the coarse wood chips releasing that wooden flavour into the air. Its purpose, protection. Its function, shock absorption. My big brown eyes scanned the playground in search of what was next, and I caught sight of the mega slide. I see kids like me standing in a line, crawling up the steps and pouring down the metal slide of fun. But oh, what's that? There are big mans all around, and in yellow jackets. Freddie says they've just fixed it, the slide, and that we can go on it. I see kids like me standing in a line, and I too step towards the slide. But all of a sudden, a bulky arm blocks my way, and a huge body blocks the sun. Where are you going? The man asks. He bent down to my level and came close to my face. I'm going to the slide, I said. What can a 3-year-old understand from a hateful face and a firm glare? What can a 3-year-old take from a look that says, you don't belong here? My determined little frame tried to push past, but it was no use. I asked the strange mean man why I couldn't go on the slide. They can go, but you can't. Why? Because you're an ugly creature. At that moment, I became a cockroach. Tears spewed from my antennae and I scuttled away across the wood chips like an insect. They couldn't protect me from the reality of evil. They couldn't absorb the shock of words spewed with such conviction. At first, my mum didn't believe that an adult had said these things to me. But my crying and tugging of her arm tugged at her instincts that something wasn't quite right. I just remember her shouting at him, and that was the first time I heard the word racist. 20 years later, I reflect on this experience. I still see his outline, huge and sturdy. I wonder where he is and what kind of life he's lived, whether he ever had any children, whether he ever had a little girl like me. I'd like to, just out of curiosity, have coffee with him and have a chat and just say, look here, look at me. I am that girl, but now I can speak and I have something to say. Eons ago, my coarse hair and brown skin were dreamed up in the mind of God. And I am no accident, and I am not subhuman, and I am beautiful, although foolishly sometimes I forget. And I don't hate you, I just want to understand you. Oh, mean man who I met that day at Primrose Hill. Don't be a coward, explain your reasons. I'm listening. Thank you.